afternoon, everyone. Many of us are teaching online lessons nowadays. There are several frustrations with this, but there are also many positives. Now we can see the practice environment that our students are in every day. We can also see how the students are seated at the piano bench. And we've also been listening to some out-of-tune pianos, haven't we? Oh dear. If our students are sitting too low at the bench, I would like to just talk for a moment about how we can fix that. There are bench pads like this of varying heights. This one is from Young Musician's website. There's also a garden pad that we can buy from Lowe's. And this one of my beginner students affectionately calls it squishy because it's just a little bit squishy. So when students use these particular objects to raise them on the piano bench, then they're going to feel like they're more in control and can sit tall and long at the bench. So we want to make sure that our students' elbows are slightly in front of their bodies and the tip of their elbows is above the white keys. So I'm going to talk about a video that was just posted right before this video from one of my students. I figure I would like to have my students record succeeding at the piano when they're home, and then I'm going to talk about it afterwards. So this particular student that you have just watched is in second edition, Succeeding at the Piano, grade 2A. And the reason why I put her in 2A is that she is a transfer student from another state, and when we began in the fall, she was quite trepidatious about dotted quarter note followed by eighth note rhythms. So I thought, I'm going to put her in this level of succeeding at the piano because those rhythms are not in this level. So now she is so successful with other note values that in the next level, then she will learn her dotted quarter note followed by eighth note rhythms. She is also working on creating a nice strong hand position. So these four knuckles are nice and strong. These are the metacarpal joints. So we want to make sure that she keeps working on that and that she has a nice sense of a letter C between fingers 1 and 2. I also want her to get more and more comfortable with the fluidity and coordination of her entire playing apparatus. And the playing apparatus, of course, begins with the back, the torso, the shoulders, the upper arm, which I call the free arm. This is the powerhouse for all movement at the keyboard. And then, of course, it doesn't stop there, right? The playing apparatus also includes the elbow, the forearm, the wrist, the hands, and lastly, the fingers. So on page 42 of the method, you'll notice she played an A major 5-finger pattern, and then the tonic, dominant 7th chords, and the tonic chords. If you have a student that can play the full 5-6-5 chord, why not? Let's have him do it there. In the next part of her recording, she was playing a dream. And in this piece, she has to bring out the left hand melody over the right hand melody. So we want to have our students feel that their forearm, their elbow, and upper arm are anchored to the bottom of the keys when they play a beautiful phrase like this. They're not tight, but they're just anchored, and they feel that sense of arm weight dropping to the bottom of the keys. A good way to get our students to understand the difference between a hand that's louder than the hand that's quieter, have them stop on the downbeats and listen. Oh, that sounded good. Oh, that sounded nice too. Let's try it here. Oh, the left hand melody is still louder than the right hand harmony. Good. Sometimes my student has an issue with putting her wrist up like this, like a little mountain. So we're always working on having the student drop her wrist and keeping it nice and flexible. On the next page, let's play in contrary motion. She will continue to work on this side-by-side rotation gesture here, like this. And at the end of this of this exercise, she actually is doing a physical gesture where she's fluidly coming around the keys like in a half oval. And then landing with arm weight on the final note. The next piece on page 44 and 45 is Robin Hood. I think that my student did a very nice job with their articulations. Like that. And also her pedaling was quite good throughout the whole piece. She also brought out the melody more than the harmony. Right? We can always work on that with our students. And in the last two lines, her pedaling was good. We had drama behind the whole piece. Was there. We have to continue to teach our students that in order to get a short, crispy, wonderful sound at the end of a phrase, we use what we call a push-off touch release. The forearm is actually propelled by the upper arm to move forward and off the key. The wrist and the forearm move together. Do you notice that? The students do not have to come up like this. They don't have to go back. And they certainly don't have to have a huge motion. They can stay close to the keys. So that is the push-off touch release. And I will continue to explain that and demonstrate that with my students so that she feels really comfortable with it for all kinds of future pieces. Have a good rest of the afternoon.